The bank teller sneered as she shredded the black woman's check, accusing her of fraud without a second glance. But the smug grin vanished the moment the big screen behind her flickered, and her son's face appeared in a bank advertisement. Because her son wasn't just anyone. He was the face of the bank. What happens next? Let's start the story. It was a crisp Tuesday morning when Angela Thompson, a poised and accomplished CEO of a successful tech consulting firm, walked into Platinum Trust Bank. Dressed in a tailored navy suit with her natural curls elegantly styled, she carried herself with the kind of confidence forged through decades of breaking barriers. Her company had just closed its biggest contract yet, a multi-million-dollar deal that would change the game for her employees and community. Today's errand was simple. Deposit a check for $250,000, the first installment from the contract. Yet, as she stepped into the brightly lit branch with marble floors, brass fixtures, and pristine counters, she immediately noticed how the air shifted. Other customers were greeted with smiles and warm hellos. When her heels clicked toward the nearest teller window, the woman behind the glass, white, mid-50s, with tightly pursed lips and sharp eyes, stiffened visibly. Angela offered a polite smile and handed over her ID and the check. "Good morning," Angela began. "I'd like to deposit this into my business account." The teller didn't respond immediately. Her eyes flicked from Angela's face to the check, then back again, narrowing. She picked it up between two fingers like it was something dirty. The woman said, skepticism dripping from her tone. This can't be right." "Excuse me?" Angela asked, keeping her voice steady but sharp. The teller tapped the check. "A check this size? Are you sure you didn't? I mean, this doesn't look legitimate." Angela blinked. "It's very much legitimate. I've deposited larger sums than this here before." The teller scoffed, ignoring her ID completely. "We see a lot of attempts like this. People trying to pull scams with fake checks. You people think banks don't notice, but we do." Angela's breath caught. "You people," her heart raced. But her face remained an unreadable mask honed from years of boardrooms and bias. "Ma'am," she said calmly, "that check is drawn directly from a Fortune 500 company. You can call to verify it. The number's printed right there." The teller leaned back, crossing her arms. "Or," she said smugly, "I can save everyone the trouble." With that, she fed the check directly into the paper shredder behind her. The machine whirred. Tiny strips of the check fluttered down like confetti. Angela stared, stunned, her brain momentarily refusing to process what had just happened. "You shredded my check," she said, her voice low but vibrating with disbelief. "That's correct," the teller said, clearly proud of herself. "Better safe than sorry. Fraud is serious." The few customers nearby turned to look, sensing tension. One or two pulled out their phones. Angela drew in a slow breath, willing herself not to explode. "You have just made a very serious mistake," she said. The teller rolled her eyes. "Don't threaten me, sweetie. You think flashing fancy clothes makes you somebody? If you were really the owner of a company, you wouldn't be in here trying to pass fake checks." And right then, as if the universe had decided it was tired of her arrogance, the large digital screen mounted on the marble wall behind the teller flickered. The bank's automated promotional reel began to play. Images flashed, smiling customers, successful entrepreneurs, community leaders. And then, right in the center of the screen, appeared the professionally shot headshot of Marcus Thompson, smiling, confident, dressed in a sharp suit. The screen read, "Meet Marcus Thompson, Vice President of Digital Security, Platinum Trust Bank. Protecting your future with integrity." The teller froze. Slowly, she glanced back at the screen, then at Angela. Her eyes flickered with realization and dread. Angela folded her arms, one brow lifting with the precision of a queen reclaiming her throne. "That's my son," she said evenly. "The vice president of this bank." The color drained from the teller's face so fast it was as if her soul tried to leave her body. She opened her mouth to stammer something, an excuse, a lie, but no words came. Angela continued, voice sharp as steel. "Not only did you destroy a legitimate check, but you racially profiled me, humiliated me in front of customers, and violated multiple federal banking regulations. The teller's hands trembled. I didn't realize. You didn't care to realize. Angela shot back. You didn't ask questions. You didn't verify the check. You didn't even glance at my ID. The only thing you saw was my skin. And you thought that was enough. Behind her, more employees had begun gathering, whispers spreading. The branch manager, a tall man in a suit who had been on a call, rushed over, looking confused until his eyes darted to the screen, then to Angela, and then to the teller, whose face now looked ghostly white. Miss Thompson, the manager gasped. I didn't know you were. Oh, but you should have. Angela interrupted, pivoting her gaze to him now. Not because of my son's position, but because every customer deserves respect, regardless of whether you think they look like money. Her phone was already in her hand. Marcus, she said into it, voice perfectly calm. I'm here at your downtown branch. We have a situation. Can you come downstairs? 30 seconds later, the elevator pinged open, and out walked Marcus Thompson, impeccably dressed, face thunderous. His eyes scanned the room, locked onto his mother, and then onto the teller, who now seemed to be shrinking in place. Mom, he greeted, giving her a quick hug. Then he turned to the manager and staff. What happened here? The manager launched into a babbling explanation, trying to spin it, but Angela cut through it like a knife. She laid out the entire incident. Her destroyed check, the teller's comments, the racial profiling, and the arrogance. Marcus's jaw clenched. His gaze snapped to the teller. Pack your things, he said coldly. You're done. She stammered. Please. I didn't. Save it. Marcus said sharply. You don't represent this institution anymore. Then he turned to the manager. I'll be reporting this entire incident directly to the corporate board. Expect an audit of this branch's customer interactions. Effective immediately. We're reviewing every complaint ever filed here. The teller burst into tears as a security officer quietly approached, ready to escort her out. Customers around the lobby clapped softly, some for justice, some in sheer disbelief that they had just witnessed what would no doubt explode across the internet by sundown. Marcus turned back to his mother, his voice softening. Mom, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Angela squeezed his hand. It's not just me, she said quietly. It's every person who's ever been treated like less the moment they walked through those doors. By the time mother and son left the bank, check reissued, apologies delivered, and promises made, videos of the incident were already spreading online. Headlines exploded. Bank teller shreds black CEO's check, finds out her son is the bank's VP. Social media flooded with praise for Angela's grace and Marcus's swift action, but also with heavy conversations about how wealth and success too often still aren't enough to shield black professionals from prejudice. Platinum Trust Bank released a public apology that evening, pledging mandatory anti-bias training, staff restructuring, and new protocols for handling discrimination complaints. Angela didn't do it for the apology. She did it because, like she had always taught her son, silence helps the oppressor, not the oppressed. And as she drove home, check safely deposited, head held high, she knew that while one battle was over, the fight for dignity, for everyone, was far from finished.